welcome to my channel, the Slugs and Spuds Growing Plot. If you're new here, please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoy this video. It's going to be a short one this week, I think, because I've not done much gardening at all because we've been away on holiday again. I didn't film any of the holiday really, apart from because we were in the same area as my last holiday only a few weeks ago. The only thing I did video was our native cotton plant. Now, I wasn't aware that we had a cotton plant in this country until I went in this area. I first saw it along a river at somewhere called Beddgelert, and we went for a walk up the mountains where we were staying at, and it was up there in the mountains as well. And our cotton plant likes boggy areas, whereas the cotton plant I've sown indoors is grown in hot places like Texas and that, and it doesn't like getting too wet. So I'll show you that now, the cotton plant. So that particular plant in Wales, I don't know where else in the country it grows, I just know that it's in Wales. They are trying to establish it more. I think it must have died out a little bit and they're trying to encourage it to grow. So rightly or wrongly though, I did collect just a little bit of seed, because in my mind I'm helping, you know, helping to spread it, and I'll make a little boggy area and see if it grows there. I don't know if the seed's viable. It looks very, very flat, but I'm going to try anyway. So before I went, I just soaked everything because we'd had really, really hot weather. So I thought if I just soak everything so it's got a lot of water, everything will be okay. But it rained anyway. Even though it was nice where we were, we could see on our camera on our house that it was raining here, so I could relax even more that the allotment was okay and the things in the garden were okay. But even so, the things in the greenhouse that I'd soaked, they were really dry. I checked those as soon as I got back, and I think I caught them just in time. Some things were a little bit droopy and needed another soaking, so they're okay now. Yeah, so I bought a couple of things, only little ornaments. I don't know if you can see it behind me, just a little welcome sign, and I'll just show you that. I just bought this wind chime. Now this is the third one I've had of these, because the other two, I'd left them outside in winter and the little head had rotted and dropped off. So with this one, I'll put it under the canopy I think in winter, or bring it in. Yeah, I'll try not to let this one die. I just like it because it nods in the wind. They do dragon ones as well. Right, so let's have a little check on everything. The clematis has almost totally gone over. There are some new flowers on it, just around the corner here, but it's setting seed now. I always just leave the seed heads on because I think they're quite decorative themselves. I've never been able to grow it from seed, even though some seeds I've seen seem to be fat and viable. I've actually got some on top of the fish tank now. It's been there for months and it's not germinated, so yeah. In the greenhouse, I'm glad I put the strings up just before I went. In fact, it was literally just before I went. My husband and my sister were laughing at me that I'm supposed to be going on holiday and I'm gardening. But I'm glad I did, because they've already started winding up the strings. So that's my melons. All my peppers and the tomatoes that I hadn't put outside are okay. I've actually had a little bit of help, I think. I've got lots of little tiny spiders all over the place. all over these plants. Let's just find one. There's one. Yeah, there's actually loads of them, so I don't seem to have any aphids in here anymore, so I think the spiders have been helping. Oh, there's one having a meal actually. This pinstripe F1 aubergine actually had a beautiful big flower on it. It was open when I came back. I've never grown aubergines before, so I don't know what goes on with them. I'm just leaving it to it really, but it's getting 2 more flowers there. Oh, maybe another 2 up there. I left my greenhouse door open because I thought it would be scorching weather, and to let the bees in or whatever wants to come in. I'm getting little peppers, I think, there. The cucamelons are getting the tendrils and that, so I need to really pot them on better, I think, because there's 3 in there and they've got nothing to climb up other than that there. All these I had put a little bit more in the shade on the bottom while we were away, but I've put them back on the top. Everything in there was fine actually. Oh, the marrow piccolo, I've only got 3 of them. If you remember, if you saw my vlog where I actually sowed these and it said there was 12 in a packet, but there weren't, there were only 5. I think before I went away I've gone overboard in sowing the other 2 that didn't germinate because they'd rotted, and when I squeezed them it was like a big pussy spot, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so at least I've got 3 that germinated and look fine. I wanted to just show you this as well. I did do a video about germinating citrus seeds, and I think I said on the video, I can't recall, but a lot of citrus seeds you'll find have twins, or they might. I even had some lime seeds that had 4 plants growing out of the same seed. So there's 2 in this one, so you see 2 sets of roots and 2 plants, and they will separate. That's the only one that I've had do that out of these lemons, but with the lime seeds last year I had at least 6 of the seeds with multiple plants coming out of the same seed, so I ended up with a load more. I've got some orange seeds as well that I'm going to try and germinate, which I'm sure they will. Oh, and these are the cotton seeds I were on about just. So there's the cotton, and the little seeds are just inside the little tuft that grows on the plant. So yeah, I'll try and germinate those as well if they're viable. I've no idea, because the ones from the other cotton plants that are grown abroad are a big fat seed. They're nothing like these ones. It's a totally different plant, but I thought it'll just be interesting to try and get some of those going and put it in a boggy area. Outside, the geraniums or pelargoniums, depending on what people want to call them, are doing really well. I put them round here. They were under the canopy before, but I just wanted to put things more in shade than they perhaps would like, but I just knew that they would dry off and die if I didn't protect them a little bit from the scorching heat while I'm not here. The fig tree is looking great. I actually want to move this, but I suspect that it's in a pot there. I suspect that its roots have gone into the floor and I might damage it if I try and rip it up. See, that clematis has gone over as well. This one though does seem to do this, and then it gives me a second flush later on, more towards the top, so hopefully that'll do that. A lot of my plants I'd put around here because this is in the shade longer than the rest of the garden, so I've got to move all these back to where they were. It's been really wet and the slugs were all over this. it was on the floor before, but I've picked them all off. I don't know how this sets seed actually, because nothing seems to be happening. I don't think it's perennial or anything, or is it? I don't know, but I want it to continue. This clematis has flowered. Smaller flowers than I thought it would have, to be honest, but they're really pretty and unusual. They all need planting out in a bigger pot or putting somewhere, because there's passion flower in here as well, and the tendrils are just wrapping around everything. They're grabbing a hold of other plants, and yeah, so I need to deal with that. I've got my first flowers on one of my tomato plants as well. That's the biggest one I've got. Zebra plant is getting really stripy now, so that's fantastic. The lilies should open up soon. I think these look like they're going to be the orange ones. I snapped one off by accident. I saw some lily beetles and I was reaching in to get them, and it's really brittle, so one of them just snapped off. I wish I'd just left it. I've got some sweet williams there. I didn't even know they were there. Yeah, but it's nice and bright, looks nice. The daylilies about to flower, I think. I've got 3 more castor oil plants to put in the back there. There's already 4 there, and I don't know if adding 3 more is going to be too much, but they might as well go in. I need to deal with the hops. It's gone right up my acer. It's getting ridiculous. But what I'm going to do is just snip it further down and let it just die back by itself. It's really, really scratchy as well, that plant. I end up with scratches all over my arms. A bit like pampas grass. It's got like, you end up with scratches if you try and deal with pampas grass, like that. Fuchsia's looking beautiful. The bird's breeches. And the goat's beard looks like it's going over a bit early, probably because of the heat, I don't know. Yeah. The cucumber market more is looking good. I think that first little cucumber died off. Yeah, I don't think it developed, but it's going to do better here, planted in the ground rather than it in the little pot it was in. This keeps slipping down, this second one, but it has withstood the wind in that, my little structure. This dahlia's getting big, but this little dahlia Karen, it was in the ground, but I thought, oh, it's doing not very well because it had been in a bit of a shady area. So I put it here in the sun, but it's still like lagging behind. Hopefully it'll catch up and just flower a bit later. These tomatoes that have been growing out of that bunny poo are doing quite well, really. And I have discovered that there are more, because I did put bunny poo on the beds in autumn, and there are 1 or 2 more tomatoes growing in this bed here. There. I'm sure I spotted 1 or 2 more, but I'll leave them just to do the thing. They can grow if they want. Be extra tomatoes for me. Even though the other clematis have gone over, I've got one growing up with this honeysuckle here, but I'm a bit annoyed that it's growing on the back, so I can't really see it unless I go into the flower bed. So it obviously likes the late evening sun, I think, and is growing on that side. The one on the fence at the back always does really well. That's really a prolific flowerer. That one there, I did try to encourage it over this side as well by putting that mesh there, hoping it would grow along, but it's not having any of it. It's probably growing on that side of the fence for next door. And the Butalon's getting its flowers as well. I really like this because it just looks unusual. And I've got to deal with the runners of the Tetrapanax. There seems to be quite a few. Now when I've viewed from upstairs, from the bedroom, I've thought, well, I want one there actually, I'll leave one, but if there's a few of them, I will dig them up and put them somewhere else. Oh, the amaranthus that I just threw into this pot, and there's some in the back as well, are doing far better than the ones that I'd sown earlier on in the year. So note to self, just wait till June and just bung them straight in the ground, because these are coming up really well and I'm not having to look after them other than make sure they're not getting too dry. So that's it for today's vlog really. Normal service will resume for next week. I'll be up at the allotment sometime this week, depending on the weather, because we've had thundering and heavy rain again today. But depending on how I feel as well. I feel okay now, but I felt really sick this morning. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. Normally I do more about the allotment than the garden, but obviously I've not been there. So I did actually buy something from Asda just before we went away. We went to do the shopping for what food we were taking with us, and I spotted a grapevine for only £6 and a little acer tree as well. So just show you now. So I bought this Dornfelder grapevine, but I'm not going to plant it at the allotment. I'm going to plant it here at home and try and make some kind of trellis or something for it, or what do you call it, an arbour or something for it to grow over. Yeah, and this little acer as well I bought. I used to have one of these, but it died. Oh, I think I've just snapped it. One of the passion flowers must have clung onto it. I've just snapped it. Never mind, I'll not do it any harm. So I bought that, and I was going to plant it so it grows into a decent sized tree, but while on holiday I was mulling about the garden, and I remembered one of the ideas that I'd had a long time ago, and I did try it to some extent, but I went the wrong way about it. It was to try and do bonsai landscapes with a little pool. Yeah, so last time I tried it, it didn't quite work out, but I think I'll do separate little platforms, separate little landscapes, rather than one great big one that I tried before, and put it in this area maybe around me, you know, like elevated, so I can see it at eye level when I'm sat. So that was just an idea I'd remembered about doing. So my enthusiasm's returned as I've been trawling pictures and whatnot, you know, of what I can do and things I can 3D print, like the little Japanese bridges and things like that. And I do have some ornaments that are like little Chinese figures that I'd used previously when I tried it before, but I'm not going to buy bonsais. I had started some plants, you know, that I'd bought little and trained them, but they dried out and all died. But I've seen a video, I'll try and put the link on for anybody who's interested in bonsais. This guy's really good, and he shows you how you can turn a normal plant that you've already got growing and is a decent size into a bonsai. So I'm gonna follow his advice on what he's done and try and get a head start on them, because some bonsais only look like a bonsai when they're like 50 years old or whatever, and well, I'm approaching 50 myself, so I'm not that patient either. So yeah, I'm going to do that. So that's it for this week's vlog. Thank you for watching, and thank you to all those that have subscribed already. I was made up to find that when I'd come back off holiday that I'd reached over 100 subscribers now, and it's just amazing that, because I never thought I'd get over 3, one of which was my husband, one of my friends and my nephew. Yeah, so it's just amazing to be supported by you all. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye. What's up, Cujo?
What's
that? What's up, Cujo? Yeah.
Hey. What a nugget.
It's like, ah, it's sweet.